Yeah. Y'all watching the Grind Ethiks Mixtape Show, and I'm your host, Viktory BX Supreme Promoter. Basically, you know what I mean? I'm saying? Basically. Yeah. What up? Thank y'all for watching new episode of the Grind Ethiks Mixtape Show. You know what I mean? Yo, anybody that like this episode, I'll be very grateful if anybody like, share, subscribe, drop a comment. But when you do subscribe, please ring the bell. All right? Yo, this is another segment, a new segment of my special segment. No, a new episode of my special segment called The Mixtape Files. Yes, Grind Ethics Mixtape Show, aka The Mixtape Files, where this is where for those who don't know, this is where I speak about the New York mixtape world or the New York mixtape scene going back to the 80s, the 90s, and the early 2000s. And right now I'm here with a mixtape DJ that I knew for years, my brother Polarity representing the Bronx. So I'm gonna introduce him right now, man. All right. Yo, what's going on? What's going on, P?
Peace. Everything's everything, G. We here, man.
Yeah, we're here, basically.
That mixtape culture, man. Shit, that's a special subject right there. That's a special situation as far as the DJ element out of New York City, man.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like, yeah, we was just babies, we was newborns, literally out here.
Yeah.
Like that, the circuit hit different because it wasn't even a circuit yet. And she was getting built by DJs from the ground up. The 90s, it was in full swing. It was going full force. Long list of DJs we could talk about that was definitely dominant in that decade. And even in the 2Gs, a lot of the format itself changed. But part of the mixtape culture is breaking in music. Some of it is discovery, some of it is rediscovery, some of it is
just play music.
Exclusive. Some of it is that too. Overall, definitely playing music, of course. But you gotta play music to make it make sense.
Yeah, of course.
That's the backbone of the mixtape, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, exactly.
But still, we here though.
We're here.
And I do appreciate it though. You know, on the strength, Lord, that you want me involved in this. You know, definitely shout out the whole network of Grind Ethiks. Big up all Massive and crew that's been, you know, tapped in over the years, and of course the new subscribers. Salute to y'all.
Exactly. Yep.
BXOD. I know the vibes.
Yo, for those who don't know, we're honoring DJ Polarity, man, as a New York mixtape DJ. You know what I'm saying? Because he added on to the mixtape world. So thank you, God, for basically adding on to the mixtape world of New York City, or New York in general, New York State in general. You know what I mean?
Well, I thank you for that.
You got to give you your flowers, yo, your flowers.
Yeah, on the strength, God, I appreciate that acknowledgement still.
Yeah. Matter of fact, we're not gonna give you.
That was just part of what I knew I needed to cover.
Exactly.
That's part of the boxes on the list that I had to check as a DJ on the strength. So part of my catalog was just putting people on to music they may not know. Also to break in different joints, whether it was hip hop, R&B, reggae, mainly. Like in the early 2000s, I was definitely infused and connected to a lot of independent music at the time. Still to this day, shout out to all the independent artists out there. Peace to all the independent brands, imprints, and so on, in addition to being connected with great artists. With that in mind, it was just more about not necessarily just dealing with standard quo. It was more about just music that that I thought was dope that I wanted to share with the world. And also, like, in between that, just giving next extension to what underground is, definitely within the hip hop culture of the latter 90s and early 2000s. That's basically what it was.
Mm-hmm. So let's go down memory lane. Oh yeah, just to let you know, I'm not gonna give you no flowers. I'm gonna give you marijuana plants since you indulge like me. So we could give, I can give you marijuana plants for adding on to the DJ culture. Yeah. So tell us how you started as a DJ, yo.
Well, I began just mid 90s, definitely around like 94, 95. I started out crate boy status. A lot of DJs from my era, they can relate to that, where I was helping out my cousins because they were the first DJs I ever really knew. You know, big up the Young Soul Sound System, Driver Pro Forever. Used to be upon my cousin Ryan Bob as well. They were the brains behind the operation where they built from the ground up, doing a lot of the big functions that was going on in the hood, from the block parties, different like parties in the community center, house parties as well, run parties and all that. You know what I'm saying? Of course, they were doing like some of the banquet halls we got in here in the Northeast Bronx. Shouts out to them. Shouts out to the proprietors that let us rock out on the set for special occasions. And from then on, it was something that jogged my curiosity and just overall, I did have a general interest in music, honestly, from a young age. And the deeper I began to like observe what DJs do, and more so just listen more, a lot of stuff made sense to me over the years in regards to just how a mix gets put together. From then on, I realized there was different ways. Pardon me. Oh, my throat there. Pardon me. I'm sorry, I'm burped. Anyways, the mixtape lane, just the vehicle, the mixtape, it became a bigger deal like through the 90s up until like now, where you could just put people on to different types of music. You could also have people reminisce. Somebody else just talks to you and be like, yo, I want this on a mix. And then for a DJ that definitely got the collection, they could go as far as they want to go. There's no limits to it. They might even do 2 runs for somebody personally.
Mm-hmm.
There's limitless ranges that goes with mixtapes and just how they're created. That's kind of the base of it. That's the platform of the mixtape itself. Whatever genre of music you want to specify it, you can find so many different ways to do it. You can find different ways that you like catch a mix where it's like you keep the listener guessing. You can find different ways in which you can go from something smooth, something chill, and then it just like then it's all at its hottest degree towards the end of the tape, or like the second half going into the end of the tape. Like the next 30 minutes you have mix is just, it's got your attention in a different way. It might have your heart beating fast. You never know. But with that in mind, I think it's something that still matters. It's not just what's been done in the past. There's so many different ways that mixtapes can be presented because we're in a digital era now. Meanwhile, I think it's always going to be up to the DJ to set the trend, be the tastemaker, and go as far as they can to present something that the listener didn't expect but will appreciate while listening.
Mm-hmm. So tell us, when did you first made your when you made your first mixtape?
Oh man, my first tape was in '95.
And that was like what, almost 30 years ago.
I had no legit DJ name. I just kind of like shortened my given name and just went with that for it. It had hip hop and R&B. That's what I remember doing. It might have been a 60-minute tape. I just was like filling in scratches that sounded like they made sense to the beat that I was scratching to. I had a blend that was just completely trash, and I remember it too. It was Where I Want to Be Boy by Miss Jones. Shout out to her. It was with acapella to Making Moves with Puff. Peace be upon the one called Craig Mack. Yo, my man, when I tell you that tape was not listenable, I promise you. Me in my grown up stage, I'm grown. Like if I were to find that tape, I know what I did and didn't do. I know what I did and I know what I did wrong. It was a thing where everything was just an experiment up until like maybe when I reached, probably when I reached wisdom knowledge, the age of 21 for those that don't know. And I started to get into making my mixes make sense. Because when I made 21, that was the summer that I got my first set. I got a pair of 12s, of course, that was standard issue to this day. For DJs that know, you get a pair of 1200s, DJ. You already know. And I got a good Vestax 05 Pro 2 mixer. My first amp was actually boombox. So that's how I was making my tapes and playing stuff out in my room. I just remembered, like, from then on, I felt like, yo, nothing was going to really stop me in the sense that I felt like, yo, now I can make it happen for real. I got my first set. I'm in-house. I can do whatever I want. I got enough records in between getting my first set together. So from then on, I was making certain mixtapes. Of course, like I mentioned, I was covering independent and underground hip hop. I was doing that. I was also making mixtapes that were, sometimes it was just like, I was getting in a whole nother bag with like maybe slow jams, classic R&B. I was going into like reggae from the 80s and 90s, but more of it was both culture and it was dancehall at the same time.
Okay.
So from then on, that was like part of the fall where I wasn't putting it out, but if somebody needed to hear me, I'd have some form.
Okay.
Cassette, by the way. So I'm just recording off my turntables and my mixer and just making it do what it do. After that, I just started actually making mixes where it's just like, now I'm going to title them. So I think around like maybe 02, going into 03, I made a mix called The Spectrum. Remember, I put it on cassette.
Oh, matter of fact, you gave me that mixtape. It was a physical mixtape, right? Yeah, of course, it was physical.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm reminiscing on that one because it's just like, as I said before, sometimes it's just that journey. And I remember as I was making it, I had Golden Era hip hop on there. I had some breaks and beats on there. I definitely had some down tempo and I had some reggae. It was a little bit of everything that just popped in my head one afternoon. I was recording it at my man's crib. He lives a few buildings down from me. One day I was just like, I'm going to just bring the set, put the tape together. I kind of did it where I don't even remember if I had a whole bunch of takes to do it. But I guess ballpark figure, I'll probably say like 2 to 3 takes max, because I know certain songs is just like, I probably just went over it. Like I probably just like had to play them a certain way.
Okay.
Like whatever the transition was, it wasn't there just yet. I was still catching blends when I needed to. Certain stuff I cut up, added my scratch solo, and then I'm on to the next one as far as like different tempos, different different genres that I wanted to fit in. I wanted to make it less about genre and just make it about music.
Oh, you just want to play like just straight, like anything from hip hop to pop to R&B, reggae.
Yeah, I mean, it was more about just setting a scene. It was more about just wanting to let music be music as far as how I wanted to play or just put that mix together. I didn't plan much, yet I knew. The only thing I did know was how I wanted to put it together. I just took a certain amount of records and I just went with it.
Okay.
That's kind of what the spectrum was. That was kind of the same lane with when I dropped the first volume of Funk Slap. It was definitely rooted in breaks and beats. There's some rare grooves in there too for people that may not know. It was just more about like, let's get back to that. I didn't necessarily want to go out of my way to recreate the wheel as far as how a breakbeat mixtape was made. I just wanted to take certain breaks that resonated with me, put them together, and then just have it be as presentable as possible. I'm still like, wet behind the ear as far as whoever thinks about it. It was a thing where I'm still figuring it out. When I did Funk Slap, it was more about just, alright, some of these might be part of a certain collection of breaks and beats that had become the golden standard of how DJs play break beats. Yet it was also more about just being as creative as possible with the breaks, the samples that I selected, and just putting them all together and making them make sense. That's overall what it was really about when I put out the first Funk Slap volume. And I wanted to follow it and just let it be more about like, okay, I'm digging a little deeper on the second volume. Even with the third volume, I kind of went into some stuff that people knew. Yeah, I made it more about, I think I made it more about just how I can make it more of a production rather than just like a regular everyday DJ mix.
Yeah, I was just saying, yeah. I hear that. So name us the different mixtapes that you produced.
Man, well, I did mention the Funk Slap series. You have Funk Slap. I didn't call it Volume 1 for anybody that wonders. I had Funk Slap Rises, that was the second edition, and then I had Funk Slap Concluded. I'm a little iffy on the release dates, or at least the years of their release, I'll be honest with y'all. I want to say the first volume of Funk Slap, that might have been around 06. Funk Slap Rises was possibly around 2010, 2011, or at the latest 2012. Funk Slap Concluded was definitely like within the next year. So probably definitely around like 2012, 2013. In between that, also the mixtape for the one called Homeboy Sandman, good friend.
Oh yeah, I know Sandman.
Supporter. Yeah, that's the homie right there.
I actually interviewed Homeboy Sandman not too long. Well, this was years ago. I interviewed him. Yeah.
Yeah, the mixtape I did for him was called Guest Who. And for those wondering, Guest Who is spelled Guest, followed by the word Who and a question mark. Shout out to Ray Maxwell on the cover, by the way. Homeboy Salmon and I were at Brooklyn Fireproof.
Okay.
And he might have just got on stage. I forget exactly how the scene was set with that part. And the homie D from Two Homie Bros might have been there. A few other good people were involved in that scene. Nonetheless, then he just mentioned this whole thing about, like, yo, like the old blend tapes, and it'd be like a best of or something like that. I think he got to that point as far as the conversation he and I had, and you're like, yo, would you make that kind of mixtape? Or it's just like, I think he mentioned specifically his features, like songs he has a feature on, not just album cuts, songs he's featured on. I was like, yo, that's kind of dope. I'm with that. So it took me a few weeks. I remember 1 week in between, he thought I was logging gagging. He was just like, where my tape? It was funny when it happened, but he was really casual about it. So that's why I mind and why I consider it so funny.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, it was just like, once it got done, I was like, wow. Because I think I did it, like, the actual process may have taken possibly 2 days.
Okay.
And shout out to DJ Dilemma, who recorded it for me. He and I, we've had some things in the works as well, but definitely dope DJ.
I hear that.
He's also a producer. Also, he's got like a little bit of everything in his bag too. He's got some dope house tracks, plus some good boom bap projects too.
Okay.
That's what man's in him. So once guess who got done, I was able to turn it into I think there was a deadline for it that Sam gave me. And also shout out to DJ Sosa. I think he has a hand in that as well, as far as like the finished product, mixed down and so on. And also that was Chance DJ for mad years. Once it got done, Sam hit me up and he was just like, yo, this tape is fat, yo. Like, I like what you did, the way you flipped the blends, the way you added in the scratches. Like, it's on point, man. Thank you. Like, he gave it up. And that made me more confident, again, that I can put together a legit mix with anything, anytime. Before, like, I guess, before Mixcrate was extinct, I did a few extra concept mixes, if I'm not mistaken. I did some tribute mixes. I did my first Dilla tribute mix, which was called One for Dilla. I forget the year I dropped that, and I really wish I remembered. It's probably floating in the Google verse somewhere, but at the time when I did it, I wanted to do it because I didn't want to just have like a bunch of hit singles. I wanted to play the joints that resonated with me as far as why, like, Dilla's beats matter so much to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's really why I chose to do that mix in particular. And then from there, I did stuff on Spreaker, then Mixcloud. I got with Mixcloud like a lot later.
Oh, this is your digital mixtape thing.
A lot of different DJs were doing it a few years before I decided to just make that switch. And because it's all digital format, I knew I still had to have the quality of physical media as far as what I selected, the transitions, and you listen to it anywhere, anytime. That's the part I cared about more than anything. Meanwhile, because everything was switching digital, it seemed a little tougher because we got all this access to different music, even like rare stuff that I didn't have on wax back in the day. How does it really hold up where I keep my integrity as far as a DJ that comes from, digital hardware, vinyl? How do I make it make sense where it's just like, okay, I'm using a DVS, but I want a DJ. I want to be just pressing buttons. I don't want to just do a bunch of cue point stuff that doesn't make sense. How do I go about making this mix as valid as possible with these songs? And then I remembered, okay, I spent so many years learning how to mix all different types of vinyl. I spent all this time either like with learning my backspin and getting as good as I could, being able to catch different parts of the beat. How do I go about doing it? And it's as simple as I come from turntable, so because I can say that, now I can step into the whole digital world, but have less pressure of just having a random record that's probably just scratched up, not dusty. It's not going to sound clean enough. It's just going to be, and then it's just like I can't clean that up in the middle of a recording. It won't matter. You know what I'm saying? So all the small things add up to the big picture in regards to what my presentations have been over time. So,
of course,
the fact that even like knowing how my Google results, there may be occasionally somebody actually endorses one of my mixtapes. It lets me know I've done something right, yet I've done the right thing as far as what I present to the world.
Of course, of course. Now let me ask you this question: What mixtape DJs inspired you, or was you inspired by any mixtape DJs?
Too many.
Too many, right? I have an idea who. But you go. This is your interview.
Man, I just go down the line. I mean, in addition to my cousins, because they usually take their sessions. Like, if they were spending a bashment, they would have their tapes. So, a lot of sound system cassettes, them, Mighty Crown, if I'm not mistaken, Turbo Crown, King Eddie's, all like the hip hop side of things, probably definitely okay, Capri.
I knew you was gonna say Capri.
Yeah, for sure.
That's Bronx native. That's Bronx finest right there.
XOD, you already know the ones. Yeah, as I mentioned, the DJ SNS, Silver Surfer. I heard some of his takes back there, Silver Surfer. I ain't gonna lie, DJ Ron G for sure, because he definitely has his old blends.
Yeah.
Whenever, like, and even like on just maybe even like the bootleg side, if you will, there was like dub tapes of like the Stretch and Bobbito show.
Yeah.
It was them, the halftime radio show on WNYU. Like that era, that definitely played a part. Like that helped me to be a radio DJ after a minute.
Yo, Stretch and Bobbito definitely that inspired me to be a radio DJ. That inspired me. They definitely inspired me to get on radio and public access as well, media in general. You know what I'm saying? Actually, I saw Bobbito years ago. It was almost 20 years ago in front of BBQs. This is when they had the Black August event. I introduced myself. I was like, yo, bro, you're one of the reasons why I'm doing media. And he smiled. You know what I'm saying? He's like, no doubt. That's what's up, my nigga. Yeah, big shout out to Bobbito, Stretch and Bobbito, man. They definitely paved the way, man.
The halftime radio show.
And they mixtape DJs. Mixtape DJs.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So all that stuff, and like different DJs were pushing their tapes out of Fat Beats. Like the Turntable Nihilist crew, shouts out to my peeps. BP1, Blowout, Explore. You know what I'm saying? Those is my guys out of Brooklyn, where it's just like, oh man, they had like a low-key wave where each of them had tapes and Fat Beats. And this was like right before like 555 Soul was really rocking.
Oh yeah, I remember 555.
Like
yeah.
The golden standard of underground artist wear.
Yeah.
And it actually spawned a set in the 555 Soul store. So that played a part. Also, shout out to DJ Honda when he had H272 off of Soho as well. I got myself a good afternoon set over there on a Saturday afternoon. It was that was probably like 02 as well, maybe 03. strictly vinyl. Serato didn't exist yet, so I bought out like maybe a few extra bags and crates of vinyl that day. It just went for mine. Shout out DJ Fam, DJ Tony Talk, they were there. DJ got wise, because I think he gave me a lift that afternoon. My man Trevor, he was there. You know what I'm saying? And things like that I can never forget. I mean, granted, I was documented on video also, but still, there's those small things where, again, they're part of the big picture where it's part of my history. And
Of course.
from there, it was, oh man, I did so many other things where it's like, most of it is audio and video. Like from, I guess the whole acceptance era of Serato. Now it's just where, you know, you might be able to find a rare set for me somewhere, loading like a YouTuber verse, all that good stuff. Something I may not even seen since I did it. So, in between that, I'm definitely up on Mixcloud for those that are wondering. But the physical media of the mixtape, again, it's circulated through so many different lanes. Now you got like DJs from, you know, the that maybe even like safe to say the cream of the crop, like the well-known names that come from that 90s era. I mentioned Ron G. Possibly Kid Capri, he's probably got some of his stuff archived. I mean, the 52 beats.
Oh yeah, I hear that half the time. 50 Super, yeah.
I was listening to that. There you go. I'll be honest with you.
That's my shit though. I ain't gonna hold you.
That tape still hits hard to this day. That tape goes so hard. And it's just like the assortment of breaks that Kid Capri's going through and the amount of time he's doing it. You know, that's part of why, like, certain techniques matter to me so much. Like,
Yeah.
I can't be that cat that's just gonna be on some, like, you know, I'm just gonna play it, I'm gonna slam it in, I'm gonna just do this, I'm gonna do that. Like, nah. To me, I gotta, like, again, it's about presentation. I mean, and you talking about mode, I know I have to have certain things happening.
Mm-hmm.
I have to keep my hands active. I can't just push a button and just act like I'm good or like I'm working. Nah, I gotta have things going on where it's just like, you know, if you don't know me, you're gonna get familiar.
Exactly.
That's me just speaking with all confidence because I think of certain DJs before me where they had to do that too.
Mm-hmm.
They had to literally just shock the crowd in addition to rocking it and moving it. They had to have them joints where it's just like, yo, you know, with so good. No, that transition or the way he cut that up. All that matters, man.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm not so much like so caught up and engulfed in my creation of a cut package. Where it's like I gotta cut everything up. When I was younger, there was times I was like, nah, yo, okay, like I hear where I'm at right here, I hear where I'm at right there, this part of the record, that part of the record. And cut this up. This gotta get cut up. I got transforms right here. I gotta compensate for my chirps, my stabs, whatever. Like just getting extra nerdy. Nah, after that I realized that's not what it's about. It really is about just having the right joints for the occasion. All the cuts, that's like that's definitely the flavor. That's like the seasoning you put in it. And it's not just my words. Like,
of course.
The OGs mentioned it. It's the flavoring. Like, it's really like that sauce. If you're able to play the right joints which you can fit into cuts, it'll count for something. But you want to make sure you pick the right spots. Be able to do that, and then you go far.
Exactly.
And even like with the whole mixtape thing, it's been done in so many different ways where, again, it's about the selection first. If you're able to get that down, everything else is light work because you're going to be able to, create your own story. You're gonna be able to paint your own picture. Shoot, one of the best mixtapes I heard is called "Rock the Casbah" by the late great DJ Spin Dad out of New York.
Okay, where in New York you from?
This man took pop music from the 80s and made it hip hop more than like anybody else could imagine.
But where in New York he from?
Possibly like debated. I caught that at the original Turntable Lab location. That's 120 East 7th Street in Lower East Side of Winnebago, Manhattan, for those that don't know.
Where he from though?
He's technically from Queens, New York.
Queens, New York, okay.
You don't think he's from the Hicksville section, which is another county, right?
Hicksville, that's in Long Island.
Long Island, yes. As I know, Spin Dad's from Queens.
Okay.
The thing was, when I first heard Rock the Casbah, I was like, yo, this man's taking songs that were like big hits on like top 40 radio in the 80s. People loved it or hated it. But it's songs that I remember so well from when my mom was taking me shopping to stores like Woolworth, Alexander's.
Alexander's and Fordham Road?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As was Caliber.
Oh, yeah.
And Woolworth was on Allerton. R.I.P. to Skate Key as well.
Oh, yeah. Rest in peace to the Skate Key.
Those were special times, man.
Those were special times, I ain't gonna lie. Those were special times in the BX.
This is Viewmaster era. This is when, if moms and pops money wasn't right, whatever you thought you was going to get on your feet, you probably was going to get some kicks from Faber.
Yeah.
This is what this was. This is Tom McCann. This is Stride Right. This was back when I think the most high-end kicks I had at the time was Lottos. I don't know how, but my mom's bought me some Lottos, and this is the one with the Velcro patch. The Velcro patch Lottos go crazy for those that know. I'm showing a bit of my age, not sorry.
Hey, we some young peoples. We some old head youngins. That's why we reminiscing. I'm almost 50. This brother's like 42 years old. I'm shouting his age. Fuck it. He's 42. Oh, you 43? Okay, I thought you was okay. He's 43. You see?
I was 42 last year.
I thought you was 3 years older than me. I mean, 3 years younger than me. Whatever. Now. It was. That's why we have to talk about Fordham Road and shit like that.
We had a bigger melting pot because when you mentioned Fordham Road, we have Music Factory right near Grand Concourse.
I was about to say, mention that. And we had B Street, remember? We had B Street in Fordham Road.
We had to go to BK for that. We didn't have B Street in the Bronx.
Yes, you did. We had B Street, nigga. Yes, that was in Fordham Road. Or was that the Music Factory?
I mean, we had Moody's 1 and 2 on my side. Shout out White Plains Road. We go resell every time. You know the boss.
Was it B Street? Hold up.
It was Flipside Records on Central Street. These are the record stores I know offhand. Nonetheless.
Hold up. When you say Music Factory, hold up, God. Hold up. When you say Music Factory, ain't that next to Burger King?
What's there now? Absolutely.
Okay, I thought that was Beat Street. I've been
Yeah, it was Music Factory.
Okay, it was okay. I've been mistaken for all these years. I thought it was Beat Street. I thought it was. Yeah, I know. There's a Beat Street in Fulton. I know that.
Oh, there was one in Queens too. If I'm not, no, actually, pardon me. There was a Music Factory in Queens. There's a Music Factory in Queens. My man DJ One Shot Deal, salute to you. He mentioned that to me before. But nonetheless, it's like one of the few spots where like you got up on things. I mean, just that whole area, like the South Bronx itself, as we know, there was a little bit of everything. There's also part of like that freestyle wave, so you're getting that in between like Hall & Oates. Of course, Michael Jackson was a whole global everything. when he dropped the Thriller album, it was over. When Mike Jack dropped Thriller, it was just, you had that. You had, well, Cameo was starting to come up, like, for real, like, maybe around the time Mike dropped Thriller.
This is my Cameo, the singer?
Because it was just like I said, Hall & Oates, you had Mike Jack, you had Prince, you had Vanity Six, Madonna, and in between that, we had, like, the dancehall scene starting to bubble with artists like Chubba, Supercat, Ninja Man, labels like Digital B Records, is upon the great original Bobby Digital out of Jamaica, by the way. We had Penthouse Records, Shang Records, all the 45 hits. You know what I'm saying? We had Yellow Man also creating that lane for what became dancehall today.
Yeah.
We had, like, hip-hop was starting to bubble, like, on wax. Actually, it was, like, really around that time. You had Fearless 4, Crash Crew, the Disco 3 later became the Fat Boys, as far as, like, cats that was actually coming out on wax. Before them, it was, like, all it was just routines on mixtapes, whereas like might have been next to the big speaker in the park, and they recorded something like "Clap your hands to the beat vibes, just clap your hands to the beat vibes."
Now let me ask you a question. Let me ask you this question.
Oh, my bad.
Sorry. when you was a kid, was you hanging out in Harlem with your family?
My family was bringing me out to Harlem. So
now, have you ever
anywhere except for where they were? It wasn't a thing where the option for me.
Now I asked because I was about to ask you. This leading me to the next question. Have you ever been to Mecca Audio in Harlem? Have you ever actually been inside that store?
I never got to do that.
Okay. Okay.
Man, I so wish I got to step inside of Mecca Audio.
Yeah, big shouts to Mecca, man.
Mecca Audio.
I'm talking about Mecca the brother, Mecca the ex-drug dealer, Mecca. He owned that spot.
Right.
Yeah. He's the one that created the phrase. He's the one that created the phrase, hey, yo, all right? Yeah.
So that's part of the reason why bro Dougie Fresh picked him up on that joint.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
And Doggie's from Harlem.
Yeah, like that era was just like, yo, 125 was just bubbling in general because you have Mecca Audio, you have the Music Hut.
I was about to ask you about that, yep.
Yeah, man. I'm thinking like
you talking about Harlem Hut.
Harlem Hut first. Yeah, and then you had Isaac's Music Hut later.
Oh, I didn't know they had a Music Hut.
That whole strip though, G, I realized like, yo. And then we had the African market that was going towards like maybe right off the block from a law school.
Oh, you talking about the tall brother that used to own the record shop? You talking about the tall brother that used to own a record shop? He always wearing African clothes?
Yeah, I think that was.
Oh, the Harlem Shack. You talking about the Shack?
Yeah, the Inglewood joint.
I know who you. Yeah. I used to be big.
Yeah, like they had the low key mixtape spot in there.
And when gentrification,
That's the first time I heard of that tape because my sister caught one. And this is around the time that Ray and Ghost dropped Criminology.
Okay.
And it was when it was a single. The Purple tape didn't even come out. It wasn't out yet. And I just remember being like, like, almost like in a trance, listening to that mix, but then hearing them horns and being like, wow, realizing that RZA might just be one of the best. But meanwhile, it's just like that whole era, like 125th was live, man.
Now let me ask you this question.
What's going on over there back in that era?
See, he's nerding right now. You gotta forgive him, folks. He geeking right now. It was different back then. It was. Yeah,
we got more food and clothes on 125th Street nowadays, but it's just like with within the 90s, it was something special. Y'all had to be there for that.
Y'all had to be there. Some of y'all was born, but y'all don't remember it. I remember that shit vividly. The 90s, oh man. The 90s was just a magical era, my nigga. It was just a magical era. It was magical.
We can't get that back.
You can't get that back.
Because it's like, until we figure out how to trick out a DeLorean Averex style with the flux capacitor, it ain't gonna happen.
This nigga's a fucking nerd.
When we find the tapes, man, that's the only time we can really go back to that.
Yeah, man. I know, man. I know.
If I could do over again, I wouldn't even change too much, man.
I hear that.
All I do is just give me a set sooner so I can pump out more tapes. That might be it, man. But yeah, those were great times.
Let me ask you a question.
Let
me ask you this question. How now are you familiar with the freestyle tapes? The freestyle mixtapes? Because we all talking about mixtapes.
Those was happening like that. I want to say like low key in between the 90s, but definitely was more predominant in the 2000s because certain MCs, they would just be hopping on whatever.
No, I'm talking about freestyle mixtapes. I'm talking about the Spanish shit.
Like as in freestyle music, I think they still exist to this day. There's like different mixes that got like feel the beat of my heart.
Okay, yeah.
To like Silent Morning. You got different joints like Louder Than Love in between. Man, I figured like mad DJs are re-releasing those or like certain DJs that's just holding on to the freestyle joints since they came out. There's more mixing, but shoot, I'll be honest with you. I don't mind those versus like, most of this like trap and drill business we doing nowadays. I'm gonna be 100% honest. There's much many times I hear a woman talking about somewhere she twerking in the mic booth versus like, even though the lyrics are super cheesy, certain songs like Point of No Return by Expose is still slap. You know what I'm saying?
Now let me ask you this question. Are you familiar with any freestyle any DJs that actually did freestyle mixtapes?
But physical now cypher, yet I know a few DJs that get nice with freestyle. I mean, there's different DJs I know personally, like they can get nice with freestyle anytime. You know what I'm saying? But because it's always going to be a thing, shoot, there's probably more stuff. There's more joints out there that I know I'm unfamiliar with. There's different joints I'm getting put onto to this day.
It's crazy to me how freestyle music, when it comes to freestyle, it's not too many songs in that genre. That genre was like a 10-year-old genre. It just...
Well, yeah, technically it was definitely like well over 5 years. But the thing was, I think it was that whole transition between like the West New York getting put on the house music versus like we're still using like the 808 stuff, doing like this whole electro sound. But Cali, they went ahead and ran with it in between time.
I didn't know Cali was fucking with freestyle music.
Yeah, like Cali definitely had like that whole electro wave rock locked in, where it's like MC was rhyming off like.
Hold on. Who in Cali was listening to freestyle music? Was it Black Americans or Mexicans?
I think of both. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Because of like what that electro wave was, where it's like, as I said, certain MCs, it was just rhyming off like a beat that was no slower than 120 BPM. So when you're hearing that like borderline Planet Rock drum break or like something like Cybertron or that break with It's Time and all that stuff, you was hearing that that more out of the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't just like black or brown after a minute. I think just brothers was just rocking with it.
Yeah, that genre just went and gone. It just went and came and went.
Even if they didn't break, it was with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It had its wave.
Yeah. It was a short genre, man.
It was just something that just expanded to what it is. You know what I'm saying? Everything has its phase, it has its time. So it makes sense that it just gravitated. Same way like DC got the go-go wave. You got
Go-go's still big in DC. You crazy?
Yeah, like even Philly kind of latched onto that, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I don't know Philly niggas listen to go-go.
Now maybe not so much.
Okay.
But still, it was a thing for a minute.
Yeah. Yeah, go-go is not really that big in New York.
Nah, not really.
You gotta be like a DC nigga moving to New York, or a New York nigga that lived in DC that listens to go-go and whatever.
Somebody like they'll probably have more of a pop and feel. Well, I mean, they'll pop off more just in Jersey more than would in New York.
Yeah, because they got Jersey club music.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like in New York with like the whole Jersey club thing, like when you deal with the the real hyped up beats. Yeah, folks in New York is definitely with it. They on it. You know what I'm saying? It's been having its lane for a minute, but I don't mind. You know what I'm saying? Like I like knowing that there's a little bit of everything in the pot being added on, as opposed to we just doing like maybe 2 to 3 to 4 genres of music in New York, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? You could have like maybe half-hour 90s joints. You could go into early 2000 material for like maybe 2 hours, and then like for the last 4 hours in the party, like now everything is just ratchet this, ratchet that.
Yeah.
There's more levels to music, man, and I think that's the beauty of what a mixtape should be, or the format of a mixtape should be, more so because you can cover more ground and put people on all different types of sounds that, it can easily resonate with somebody. Somebody can relate to it just for what it is in regards to honest music.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I think that's something that needs to be covered overall. It should be more about making honest music as opposed to just, this is so-and-so's trend, this is what their lane is.
Yeah.
That's what they do. What's in your heart and mind right now?
Exactly.
What is it that you want to do? And I think that's something that definitely the DJ in this generation should consider. As they begin their journey, they begin their process as to what it takes to be a DJ, they should know that what it is that relates to them, or what it is that a crowd responds to, it coincides and connects. There are 2 parts of the puzzle. There are 2 pieces of the puzzle. Yet it connects to other things. I mean, there's the technical pieces. There's the pieces that involve the environment, if you will. The parts of the environment where a DJ may be there for the first time, yet if they take time to listen to what it is that's being played before they even step to the set, they may be able to find where their start point is at.
Mm-hmm.
This is what guides them to the finish at the end of the night or the end of the party. So with that in mind, it doesn't end, and yet a DJ's work is never done.
Yeah, DJ's work is never done.
When they can go to the tape and have other people go to the tape and appreciate what it is that they've given and what they've shared, then I think the culture itself is in a better place, and it becomes more of a well-rounded thing that's balanced within the force, for lack of a better term, because sometimes those live sets that might get recorded or that mixtape that a DJ presented for the people, they might be able to recreate that set, and then with that in mind, it just becomes like a higher level of appreciation for the party goer, and also it reassures the DJ themselves that everything counts.
Now let me ask you this question. Oh, this is gonna be the last question, and we 85,000. Yeah, you know I was raised in the 80s, but but anyway, but we was talking about this before on Facebook, I think. Now in the early 2000s, matter of fact, 20 years ago. Oh, a little bit before 20 years ago. 20 years and some change. 50 Cent basically was one of the actually to me he was the first DJ, the first MC that produced mixtapes without the DJ. Do you think he kind of fucked up the shine for the DJ when he just made a bunch of mixtapes all about him and without the DJ or excluding the DJ?
Right. I mean, there's some truth to it in a sense within the era he did it, because I don't know if he's exactly the first, yet I know he's one of the first names that'll come up in that conversation, because this might have been before he linked up with DJ Wu Kid. This might be before. I think he was doing joints with K-Slave, but don't hold me on that. But I can't help but think, like, around that era, he did link up with him somewhere down the line. Yet I can always remember fully, like, he made it a thing where, an MC will just go to whatever studio. He might even highlight the DJ and be like, yo, I just want to rhyme on these beats right here. They might just leave it at that. And then it becomes, I don't have to shout out the DJ's name all over the joint. It might be just, okay, I'm rhyming on these beats, I got these bars. Some of it is freestyle, some of it's not. And I mean, definitely, like, when you look at the actual body of work of what 50 was doing in the early 2000s, most of that definitely wasn't that. He had that pre-prepared.
But then again, not to cut you off, I forgot 50 dealt with DJ Who Kid. Right. He did play DJ Who Kid did play a lot of 50 Cent. So 50 Cent didn't completely disinclude the DJ out the picture. He did mess with DJ Who Kid, and I think maybe one or two other DJs. I'm not sure. I gotta go back. I gotta do my research.
Like I said, yeah. It might be somebody like K-Slave.
Maybe did he ever play? Did K-Slave ever play? I think he did play some 50 Cent shit, K-Slave. But then again, why wouldn't K-Slave play 50 Cent, right?
Right, I wouldn't be surprised.
Why wouldn't he play 50 Cent? He didn't have beef with him or nothing. So, yeah, I think K-Slave was playing 50.
Yeah. Man, where it did usher in the artist showcasing on a mixtape, where it's just like, if they weren't dealing with a DJ up front, then it became maybe a producer that just laced them with like maybe 12 or 14 joints, whatever amount, and then it's just like, I'm not putting it out as an album, I'm just putting it out as a mixtape. You know, I was like, yo, it's not album structure. Only thing is probably missing the skits. It's that, and a scratch hook by a DJ. So with that in mind, yeah, it definitely undercut, or at least like dumbed down the format of a mixtape, because as you said, the DJ's not involved. So if it's just like whoever's rhyming, they just pick the beats they want to rhyme on, and then they spit their bars. It's just kind of like, what are we doing, as opposed to just saying, okay, I can pick your part whether this sounds written or not, versus you decide that you want to do the answer to this song. Because when I think about like what 50 was doing on mixtapes, you got songs like the After My Chill when he was rhyming off the Love You Better beat. He had G Unit on it. He had, I mean, one song might be an exception to the rule that I Smell Pussy, but he still had G Unit on it going out the job rule. We know about that. We gotta go too deep into it. And then it became this thing where certain projects that other artists were putting out afterwards, it just became mixtapes. It's either dealing with disses or it might be just straight up, yo, I'm doing this off of GP because my label's on some bullshit. So now I'm just gonna go in on these beats rather than just put out an album that I gotta pay for because my label's not giving me any backing.
Well, 50 wasn't signed at that time. He was dropped by Columbia, remember?
Of course I do. That was when he dropped, I think, Power of a Dollar first.
Mm-hmm.
I know he had the Ghetto Quran.
Like the Ghetto Quran, yeah.
Before the shooting. And it's just like, yeah, Gentleman and all the other cuts on it. You know? And to me, as I remember, that's more like he dropped an EP. Like on the low key tip, but it was put out as a mixtape and it got distribution. You know what I'm saying? So, with that in mind, certain things they just get presented as such, or they get put out and they might get extended. Like somebody might catch wind of it and be like, yo, this is dope. Like, this needs to get spread out more. This can't just be your bootleg project and nobody else is, helping you with this.
Yeah.
Now we gotta do more. So I think that's part of what that was with 50. When he dropped that one for the Ghetto Quran and one right before it where you see the silhouette with him holding the gun. You see the jewelry and all that like rocket bulletproof. That was kind of like, okay, now I'm doing this. I'm on my way. That's what it looked like. And I mean, that's what he was going for. And then all of a sudden later, it just became, where it is today, in between time.
Yeah.
He did all the How to Rob stuff and all that. But it was just more him making songs, getting himself be heard.
Exactly.
I figured there's a difference. But with like what the mixtape is today, now, because it's in the whole digital platform, people putting it up on DatPiff, Audio Mac, and they think like they don't need the DJ anymore. That's part of what ruins it. Because now they're looking at everybody else that's connected to a label. And this is still in regards to like the early 2000s. Nowadays, ain't too many labels left or even like really existing. But now it's more about, okay, so-and-so put out this type of project, so this is how I gotta go about it to get my buzz. This is how I'm gonna get my wave up. And they just go with that, and then it becomes less about originality and creativity.
Yeah.
It becomes more of a keep up with the Joneses situation.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, the DJ is always gonna hold you down, especially if you get booked from somewhere. What, you just gonna use a diet like we in 1992? Or what? What are we doing?
What are we doing here?
Right, and then...
And hip-hop started with the DJ, as far as the music.
So I'm like, yo, what's your stage show? We DJ at. So, we DJ at.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it always comes back around. Where, like, you gotta put respect on the DJ's name.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Yeah.
If you want to get heard, you gotta make sure your song get in the DJ's hands.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta do that.
Yep. But yeah, my brother, thank you for being on Grind Ethiks, aka the Mixtape Files. Oh yeah, by the way, being that this is the Mixtape Files and this is a classified interview, when this interview come out, you can promote it, but you can't promote it. It's classified.
I got you. Yeah, man.
Yo, tell everybody your social media site so they can reach you.
All right, man. Peace, party people. You can catch me on the Twitterverse at Dark Polocious, capital DARK, capital POLOC to the I to the OUS. If you want to hear some mixes live and uncut, you can check me out at mixcloud.com/DJ Polarity BX. Be sure to spell out DEEJAY Polarity BX. Also, want to see me out in Instagram land, if you will. You can find me at DEEJAYPOLARITYBX. And if you want to hear some of the beats, you can follow me at Polocious Productions. The Majesty of Song Volume 2 is out right now. There'll be some more mixes coming out in the future. Stay tuned.
No doubt, man. Good looking, yo. Peace, God.
Peace to God. Peace to Grind Ethiks. I'm off this.
Yeah.